Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show I have real estate, finance, commercial, and residential expert, 17 years in the business, based out of Austin, Texas, Phil Hawkins. Phil, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot. Glad to be here.
I wanted to ask you really about, is there anything that we could be doing in Texas? Yeah, and I don't know that there is, but we talk about the high property taxes in Texas, and you talk about permits in California. Where else could Texas raise money from to fund its state other than property taxes?
Well, the state of Texas has a surplus of, in the neighborhood, $20 billion per year. So somewhere that money, Governor Abbott, I think, just signed a bill revising or reducing or in some way changing the real estate tax rates for the state of Texas. And I haven't seen the details of that, but apparently everybody's kind of yawning. It's
crazy.
Too little, too late. It's a nice gesture, but it doesn't really address the real problem. Now, if he would jump on the homeowners insurance problem, then he's going to make a contribution to people's lives. But I don't think there's anything he can directly do, because that's an industry problem. It's not a state problem. So everybody I know in Texas had their homeowners insurance double. Did yours double?
I'm renting this ranch out here. I'm still
okay.
trying to get some land or a home in an LLC that I own, maybe here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the, I think, trickier things that, all people have to grapple with is this idea that where you live, and it's definitely a younger generation, where you live might be your idyllic place. But you mentioned Austin. Austin is one of the more expensive areas in Texas. But the further you go out, the less amenities there are, if you're raising a family, schooling, so on and so forth. But then you move to other states where you do have an income tax. And all of this is important because if you're thinking about, well, I want to be a real estate investor. Well, now you have to contend with, well, how much of your money are you saving? How much in taxes are you paying? What's the cost of a starter home? How much in permits and in time do you need? Do you need 6 months advance notice before you start working on a project? How strict are they? And all these factors come into the equation to the point where I'm from New Jersey, Phil. I actually miss my home state of New Jersey. I would have liked to move back there, but I know that as a single family home investor and someone who works with investors and fix and flip, it's not to say that it doesn't exist, but it's hard here. It's a lot harder over there.
Well, that's all asking the question, how long is a piece of string? There's no answer to that. It's just, it is what it is, and that's what you have to deal with. But one of the things that people don't understand is all of the things about living, whether it's in California or in Texas, that impact the real estate industry. Let me give you an example.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I live in actually a suburb of Austin. It's a little community just south of Austin, but I'm in the Austin market. And our school district down here is having a terrible time hiring teachers. Now, people come from Austin to Bastrop because our cost of living is less. Houses are about 40-30% cheaper here for the exact same thing in Austin. So when people come here, first question they ask is, how's the school district? Well, all the teachers are having to double up their class sizes to 35 and 40. The coaches can't do their job in the athletic department, so that's a drag, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things that any town that wants to goose their real estate activity, pay teachers what they want, what they need. The average teacher in Bastrop only makes $55,000, $60,000 and has to coach an athletic team on top, for nothing, on top of their academic responsibilities. It's difficult to recruit in the state of Texas for teachers. So change that law about teachers having to also, it's not mandatory, but the first thing they're going to do is say, you're teaching history, now you have girls 7th grade basketball you got to coach. I just added to my workload with no additional income.
Why are they able to do that? I'm thinking about myself, and I'm thinking, I got college education. Teaching is a very hard profession. You have lots of responsibility. You're responsible for people's children, and then you're also responsible to the parents. If I'm now having to stay afterwards to coach a program, wouldn't it just make sense that I'm getting paid more for that?
But obviously, that's common sense. But the teaching profession has now evolved into less teaching and more social work. A teacher is a social worker, not a teacher. Yeah, they're teaching the kids, but they also have the responsibility for all this racial stuff, for all of this DEI, and for all of this other cultural stuff that seeps into the academic environment. And so now they're having to be sociologists, they're having to be crisis interventionists, they're having to be all these other things that teachers, when I was young, in the early 60s, we went to school, we learned how to count, we went home. Now, oh my God, the things that a school has responsibility for have just mushroomed over the years to the point that a teacher can't handle it anymore, so they get out of the industry and, or they don't go into the industry. And so what I'm getting to with all this is that if you have a good school district, if you've got a good student-to-teacher ratio of 20, 25 kids maximum per class, long-term teaching positions that have been filled by the same teacher for many years, you have continuity, and you end this utterly ridiculous policy of making school teachers become athletic coaches. That has to stop. So when you improve the school district, when you give the kids a better experience, you add to the attractiveness of the community,
the whole area,
which then translates into an increase in a stabilized, normal real estate market.
Right.
Now, people say, oh, what's the school district like? Oh, it's good, it's bad, it's this, it's that. But they don't go to school district meetings. They don't get to know the people at the school district and say, how do we solve this problem? How do we fill these positions? Well, the first thing is to give them more money. You've got to start teachers nowadays at $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, just like the nursing industry.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
But the lights don't come on for some reason in the state of Texas. Texas. The other thing that makes Texas unattractive is the auto insurance rates. Now, why are the auto insurance rates so high? It's because the speed limits on Texas secondary roads, some of them are 80 miles an hour on a 2-lane rural highway. That's ridiculous. The
You don't love
accident
that,
rate,
huh?
well, I love driving it, don't get me wrong. But in terms of the car insurance industry, the guy tells me, he goes, the accident rate in Texas per capita is top 5 in the nation.
Is California up there too? I would imagine they are.
They're all right there together. California, Texas, Tennessee. There's another one. I think it's New York.
Those are some areas where you have a lot of car culture. Like I can tell you, I grew up in northern New Jersey, Italian American neighborhood, great area. I think to experience an interesting upbringing for sure. There was a lot of cultural exchanges happening, to say the least. But I didn't see hardly any big lifted trucks. That's a uniquely Texas thing. So then to insure a car that is already, a $1,100 a month payment.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Now you're talking insurance on top of that. And then we talk about diesel. It's just, there's so much car culture down here in Texas that is uniquely Texan. I think it's something like 1/3 of all trucks sold in the U.S. are sold in Texas. And then on top of that, you have people, and I don't know exactly how this happens, but you have people who are just uninsured. So they're just driving uninsured. So then
it's all part of the illegal alien problem. Thank you, Mr. President.
And so,
Thank you, Mr. Biden.
There's things that, I guess people can control. There's things that are outside of people's control. But, when I think about what impacts real estate, I think about, to your point, community. I think about the schools. I think about, real estate is a 20, 30-year commitment that you're making to pay a note. So in the next 20 or 30 years, what's your life going to look like? What's your job going to look like? What's your family going to look like? And if you can't know for certain that this area that I'm staying at right now is going to stay where it is and then progress versus stay where it is and then deteriorate or just get worse, then you're not going to, buy the home out there. So people aren't just looking at what is it like right now. They're also looking at, well, what's the trajectory? I just moved from up to Dallas from San Antonio, and San Antonio is great for a lot of things. I moved up to Dallas because of the real estate investment opportunity. I think there's more investors up in Dallas, but San Antonio is an incredible city right now. The level of construction and of improvement that they're doing, it's really amazing. Like just from September when I left of last year to now, the whole area that I lived at, which is by the Rim, La Cantera, the west side of San Antonio by 1604, looks totally different. That's by
Lubbock
Six
too.
Flags. And
Lubbock
then
too. Lubbock
same
has
thing.
exploded.
So I just think like when it comes to being a real estate investor, you have to have an eye, not just for, hey, what's happening right here, right now, but also 5-10-year plan. And then we mentioned on the earlier episode we were filming, subdivisions and building out areas. How easy is it to get those permits? Where is the development happening? Are you in proximity to something else?
It's much easier in Texas than it is in California. Trust me. It can't get any worse than in California. But out here, it's not that bad because, as you know, 90% of the land in Texas is privately owned. We have very, very little public land, Big Bend National Park notwithstanding. Okay. So that's one reason that it's easier in Texas to get a subdivision off the ground. And there's a bunch of them going up between Austin and Bastrop. There's a lot of new houses. There must be 10 developments going up because Tesla is in the southeast corner of Austin, which is on the road to Bastrop. So this community is growing. The school district needs to get its act together, which they don't. They have in some ways, but in many ways they don't. And if they would do that, this community would explode. Housing prices would jump, and so many problems would be solved.
That Tesla plant is the craziest thing that one of the craziest things that I've seen in person. If you drive by the Tesla plant, I drove by it yesterday. I was in Lady Bird Lake floating the river on a paddleboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful area, but I'm going by the Tesla plant. It is so big, and you driving by it, it looks like
1.1 miles long.
Yeah, otherworldly.
It is. You can see it from space. I mean, it is, and it's still under construction. And they're building trucks down there, and they're going and blowing. But the part of the building that is closest to 71, which is the road to Bastrop, they're still working on it. They're still building. There's cranes everywhere.
I mean,
it's not even finished yet. It's been working for 5 years now, something like that. That's how big it is.
They've got 3 flags flying out front. They've got the Texas flag of Texas. You've got the American flag, and you've got the Tesla flag. And then you've got this giant sprawling building where you're going, and it's one of these roads, I want to say, where the speed limit's like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So you're going.
Yeah, the 130,
like,
right?
The building is still there. The building is still there. And you're like, I drove by it not knowing what it was, and I'm looking back. And then as I came back, I made a mental note, I'm going to take a look at this. And, of course, it's Tesla, and I'm immediately able to recognize the flag. And I'm just thinking, man, that's got to be the longest building that I've ever seen in my life.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Well, they also, there's Tesla Avenue. One of the exits off the 130 is Tesla Avenue, which is the road that circumvents the factory. It's common knowledge that if you work in the Tesla factory, you have a golf cart. If you want to go somewhere, in another section you have to take a golf cart, or you'll be all day walking down there and back. So the place is different. The place is not like any place most people have never worked.
It's also, an interesting thing to talk about car culture, because it's not exactly the most obvious fit for electric cars. You think about which state would be most fast to adopt electric cars. I wouldn't have said, hey, Texas. But I mean,
Yeah, I promise you that if they start with that nonsense in Texas, so far, people like Ted Cruz and, Governor Abbott, they all understand that. Don't even start talking about it. Because we will not be reelected if we start doing those EV mandates and all this other nonsense.
But what's interesting is, I'd say as a real estate guy, I've seen now so many what looks like people buying Cybertrucks just for the flex, just for the marketing. And I have to say the ability to do that, is incredible. I remember when they were first coming out and you would see one, it looked like an alien spaceship riding down the road. And now you kind of see more and more of that. It being out there in Austin, of course, the capital of Texas, there's a lot of, cultural overlap going on out there. And then Austin itself is an interesting place. To have that facility be in that area is truly an incredible thing. Just to pass by it, but then also to have it in Texas and boost the economy out there.
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, Qualcomm has a factory here. Dell has a factory here. There's I can't think of the name of it. The Korean television man, Samsung has a factory here. So it's exploding. It's gone crazy. It's gone crazy, and it's going to continue to go crazy. Now, let me predict the future for you here just a little bit. Now, you mark this day and this interview, rates are going to go back to 3.5%. Housing prices are going to double in the next 5 years, especially in this community. the demand, and we're not talking about any of the economic influences specific to the state of Texas. We're talking national economy here. Okay, so shifting our focus just a little bit. Real wages went up considerably in May. That is an indicator of the affordability. Okay, so people can afford the payment, they can afford the actual price. The more wages go up, that's a good thing for the real estate market. That's an obvious thing. The other thing is the reduction in regulation that the Trump administration is exerting on all these environmental rules, all these environmental regulations, and all of these things that contribute to the building industry, to the development industry, are all going to be, wiped away. So you want to build a road, if you want to build a highway, you do any federal project whatsoever, it's so much easier. So real wages are going to come down. Go up. Go up. Real estate finance rates are going to come down to the 3.5% level where they were. Okay. And when that happens, just stand back. Just stand back, hold your bucket out. It's going to fill up with money. And this will occur before the Trump administration ends, which is within the next 3.5 years. Just brace yourself. It's going to be 2009, 10 all over again, to where prices from that point to where they are now easily triple. Well, on a nationwide average basis, I'm saying. Okay.
So should we get in before then, or should we get in at that point in time?
Get your ducks in a row now, because the opportunities are going to come. Now, if you're a real estate agent, there's a lot of people getting out of the industry right now because it is a little bit down. Okay. Demand is not where it was. So people are getting out of the industry. Do not get out of the industry. Do not surrender your real estate license, because you're going to make money hand over fist. And get yourself a portfolio of investors like myself, like you, like other people, and service those people like you've never serviced anybody in your entire life. Learn what an investor wants and needs. You're not talking to some woman who's looking only at the kitchen. You're using the word home every time you talk about a house. I don't want to talk. This is not home. This is a house. It's an investment vehicle. It is a means to an end. Don't start. Oh God! Don't get me started on real estate agents. They just don't know what they're doing. That's why I avoid them as much as I can.
Well, Phil, I'm gonna have to I guess convince as many people as I can to hang on here for the next couple of years. I know that when I left the real estate school that I went to, Champion School in Fort Worth, there was kind of a lot of people wondering what the immediate future would look like. And people were saying, it's not exactly the easiest time to enter, but, if we can all hang on here a couple more years, I think we may be in luck.
Okay. I can simplify this whole thing. How do you make money in real estate?
Buy low, sell high.
That phrase should govern every decision you make. How do you buy low? Well, you buy low when the market's slow. People aren't buying. The house next door to me sold a year and a half ago for $1 million in 10 days. Done. I said, Dennis, you're never going to get $1 million for that house. He goes, you wait. Sure enough. The new guy that moved in had a lot of personal problems. So he's selling for the exact same price a year and 3 months on the market, and it was in contract and fell out, and now it's in contract again and about to fall out again. So that's the difference. We're going to get back to that market that we had a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it's coming. Now, let me show you what to look for so that you'll know it's coming. You want to look at the Treasury yield curve. Okay. Now, do you understand what the Treasury yield curve is? A normal Treasury curve starts with very low rates on the shorter maturities, and going down to a 30-year maturity, it's supposed to have a higher interest rates. So the longer the maturity, the higher the interest rates, which creates the curve, which is in the background of your studio. See that? Okay.
That's right. We got the curve back there.
Okay, you got the curve back there. So in a normal market, you got low rates on short maturities and you got high rates on long maturities. That's a normal market. An inverted yield curve is higher rates on shorter maturities and lower rates on long maturities. It's an inverted yield curve. So you want to look for an inverted yield curve in treasuries, which we have right now, actually. Kinda. It's mixed. It's not really telling me anything, but it's not normal, in other words. And when you see that, get ready because rates are going to come down. What the market is telling you when you get an inverted yield curve is investors are scared. They don't want to go long term, or they think, well, I'm not going to put my money in a 30-year treasury. And if rates go up or if something changes, I'm going to take a bath. So they put their money in short term. So the demand for short-term treasuries exceeds the demand for long-term treasuries. Now, when the market tells you that, take advantage. Buy low, hold, and sell high. So look for the treasury yield curve, look for real wages in the economic reporting. And when you see those two things come together in a positive light, get ready. Start your car and get ready.
We're coming up on time here, Phil. Again,
Okay.
I'll probably have them splice this into a second episode here.
Well, we can do this till 10 o'clock tonight, and I still haven't completely explained to you why the mortgage market collapsed.
Do you want to give folks? You want to plug your photography business again? We'll do this a second episode.
Well, just Phil Hawkins Photography. I don't do portraits and weddings and all that, but I do a lot of real estate photography, and I'm very good at that. And I really need to put that on my website because I don't. I just focus on the landscape stuff. But I do all my own photography, obviously, for my listings and everything. But anyway.
Phil, thank you so much for.
Thank you so much, man. This is fun. If you want to go till 10 o'clock tonight, I'm ready. I'll just go make a sandwich and come back. Anytime you want to do this again, let me know.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.